and the truth finally comes out.
Is this true? Okay, I will resume putting the pieces together in the office if you guys need me. At 10:30, I was in the garage getting a drink, and then Mitch and Adam were outside taking a look at the car, coming back inside. And then Ben and Ciarda, they were at the kitchen table, and Miss G, she was a ghostwriter and never got so much as a thank you for her credit. And Ciarda gets information from her potential clients, and she dated Medicohi. But Ben had an altercation with his business and slept with Medicohi even though he's married. And then Mitch got in a car accident, and Medicohi didn't even do anything about it, go to court or anything. Then Adam fixed her car for other reasons and didn't even get paid or anything. Now, out of all these people, all of the clues presented to me, who seems like the murdering type? Who dodged the most questions? Who had the most to say? Who knew the most information and seemed like they actually could have planned out this whole thing?
Dear Amanda, I don't have much time to write this, and I fear I am in danger. First off, I want to apologize for stealing your story. I had no idea this one was off limits, but frankly, looking back, I should have known better and at least should have asked. And for a while, I believed that you knew about this and were threatening to tell the world of the scandal if I didn't pay up, while also hiding the fact that you are, in fact, a ghostwriter of mine. However, earlier this week, I had a really suspicious encounter with someone. And it was after I processed this moment that I realized I was wrong. I wasn't giving money to you for your work. I was being blackmailed by this stranger. I was gonna put a stop to this on my own, but then a question came to my mind. If you weren't asking me for money, how come you hadn't revealed that you wrote the story rather than me? To which I realized, if I had been tricked into believing you were blackmailing me, who's to say that you couldn't be tricked too? If that is the case, please know that I have no idea of any dark secret you may have, and that I have never asked for money from you. However, after that night of the encounter, I think the person realized I was onto them. And tonight, at this party, I think I've seen someone whom I do not recognize lurking in the shadows. The only people I have invited are listed below, so if you see someone not on this list, please be wary. Please help me, if you can. Thank you, Amanda. Sincerely, Medicohi Rumred.
List of names. Norman, of course. Elliot, Amanda Gutenberg, Ciarda Hearn, Benjamin Gifford III, Adam Automaton. So that only leaves...
Mitch. Fancy seeing you here.
What? This is my room.
I meant fancy seeing you here in present.
I don't understand.
How about fancy seeing you here in alive? Is that what you wanted me to say?
I wouldn't do anything stupid.
What do you mean by that?
We're the only two up here. Everyone else is downstairs.
Not everyone. They've already hauled off your publisher. Your co-writer. Emphasis taken off of co.
What are you doing up here?
Me? Oh, I seem to have misplaced my wallet, and I was coming up to look for it. But then I realized I killed my wallet a few nights ago.
That's not that strong of an analogy.
Hey, shut up. How about I killed off half of it? But you've supplied money to me. And you've also unintentionally gave me some crucial information such that Medicohi leaves her window open all the time. That was really helpful. My other half is here.
Not anymore. You already revealed the one thing you had over me to blackmail me. There's no more dark secrets of mine.
Oh, isn't there? Because if I do recall, you were just about to confess writing your last secret.
I must have missed that.
Strange, you see. I can fill you in on what it says. Because I laid out all the clues for our little investigator downstairs. And sooner rather than later, they're going to walk out of that office with a verdict of who the murderer is. But it can't be me. Oh, no. I was with Adam all night long. He never saw me leave his side.
So, you and Adam both did it?
Well, here's the kicker. Adam is actually innocent. He genuinely believes I never left his sight at the 10:30 time window. I have a truth-telling alibi. You, on the other hand, your story isn't so clear. You say that you were up using the bathroom because the downstairs one was taken by Medicohi. However, no one can corroborate your story. You, Elliot, and Norman were the only ones left alone that night. Can't be Elliot, they're the detective. And Norman, well, that's just two eyes of a character for our cliche detective trope we have downstairs. So who does that leave?
The murder was outside when it happened. You killed her from outside. I was the farthest away from any exit.
According to your story, you were. But why should we believe that? You could have placed yourself anywhere if you were the killer. And it'd actually be in your best interest to place yourself furthest from the murder location. And who here was the first to show interest in Elliot's gun?
126 with a HD air mask silencer.
Brought a gun to the party?
And everyone's gonna suspect you because of all the random absences you've had. You weren't there when Adam's gun went off. You weren't there when Ben revealed his secret. What you were doing by yourself is left up to the imagination.
That's weak evidence at best. I know I didn't kill her, and you know you did. The truth will always surface.
You don't know the truth.
I know you did it.
But you don't know how. See, I know how. Now I'll confess to what I know about you. I will confess that I know that you killed Medicohi Rumred.
But what if I do know how you did it?
That could probably help.
May I tell you then?
Elliot's probably gonna take another hour or so anyway. And nobody downstairs has any reason to come up here. So yeah, sure. Let's hear it.
Well, for starters, you're a blackmailer. You've been blackmailing Medicohi for money after figuring out that she stole a story I'm gonna get you from me. And as a way to cover up your tracks, you blackmailed me as a way for Medicohi to say, well, if you share I stole your story, I'll share that you had an affair. And Medicohi believed it, so she paid it off and invited me to her party to be safe. But then, one night, fate decided to throw its hat in the ring. After getting into a somewhat minor wreck, Medicohi figures out who her blackmailer is when you say a specific calling card you've written on all of your blackmail letters, both to Medicohi and myself.
Jeez, it's cold as nuts out here. Give me the money or your career is over as nuts.
She doesn't say anything out loud to you about it, but at the same time you realize who the woman standing in front of you is, and you definitely catch the vibe that she knows now who you are. Unfortunately for her, she had already mentioned she was just grabbing supplies for a party this upcoming weekend, and that's when a plan forms in your mind. You decide to claim that you hit a tree or a deer and just buy a new car. Medicohi, while upset you ran, figures the same thing and doesn't want to draw attention to herself in case you were to do something. When she gets home, Medicohi decides that she will tell me about what's happening. As up to this point, she believed I was the blackmailer. She's already invited me to the party, so she will tell me then. You enter through the garage, since you know about Norman from blackmailing both Medicohi and I. He doesn't notice you. Step 1, out of the way.
Just in case, I'm a private investigator. You never know.
When Elliot first mentions they have a gun, you reach behind them and steal it without them noticing. You've heard of this detective's track record and also just watched a movie detailing it. You were going to use the one you brought,
but when an opportunity presents itself to add more confusion and chaos, you take it up. You introduce yourself to Adam. He worked on your car before you had the wreck, and will use that to your advantage. You all talk for a bit to catch up. Suddenly, a loud pop goes off from the backyard. What made the sound isn't as important, but Adam, out of instinct, grabs onto his gun for protection. You take note of this in case you need the info later. You tell Adam you want to show him your new car. He says he'll be out once the quarter is over. That's great news to you, because you now have a few minutes outside alone. You go to your car, as if to get it ready for Adam when he comes out, but you open it up and grab the congratulations card, as well as some gloves that you put on. You make your way to the backyard as stealthily as possible. You walk over to the office window, already knowing ahead of time it would be open. You make a sound to get her to enter the office. She does so, and right then and there, you get up and aim the gun. Before she can say anything, because the music is so loud and the gun has a silencer on it, nobody in their mindset that they're in think anything of it. Perhaps it sounded like a drum hit. You then proceed to throw the congrats card onto her desk, close the window, and leave Elliot's gun on the ground. Then, as quickly as you got there, you vanished. You head back to the front yard, throw your gloves into your car, and stood there to greet Adam as he leaves the house to check out your new car. At this point, you are seen with Adam by Elliot as you walk by them, and seen by the others in the dining room right around the supposed time of death, thus clearing you of suspicion.
Now that we aren't allowed to go up to our cars, the only gun that you could have for this encounter is Adam's. So you watched which room he was staying in, snuck in the night, and now you have it here.
Now, how does this all connect to Norman?
You must have killed him after stealing Adam's gun, the motive being that Norman would be the only one to see the guest list apart from Medicohi, and he would have seen that you weren't on it. So you shot first to get him out of the way, after learning that he disappears between 3 and 4 a.m.
But I was on the guest list.
No, you weren't. Elliot asked for the guest list, and then you said...
There should be one in the kitchen.
And when Norman, for the first time we've been here, looked up from his trance, he wasn't looking at Elliot's suspicious movement. He looked up because that wasn't where he put his guest list.
He still had possession of the guest list, which read off everyone's name except yours. And you doctored one to make it seem like you were invited. Medicohi dead and Norman mute, it couldn't be proved as a fake.
Bravo. Bravo. Yeah, I'm gonna use that version of events instead of my way. Minus meeting Adam, you use the front door. Norman can't attest to that since he's dead. And that's it. That also explains why you killed Norman. It's a shame that you revealed it though, instead of Elliot. Took the spotlight away. But it would have been worse if they got it wrong, and just like in your movie, I'm Gonna Get Ya. Still feel like I'm forgetting something though.
Maybe that I actually know that you did it. I know how you did it, I know why you did it, and I'm gonna go reveal that to Elliot and everyone downstairs. And the only way to not get that out of me is to kill me. And we're the only 2 people up here.
No! Right! That's what I was forgetting! Where was I? What was my line? Oh, got it. Medicohi was hauled off, and poor Norman, am I right? His soul probably lost to the whims of time, never to be seen from again. Plot twist of the century, am I right? I really do know how to run a secret blackmailing business, don't I, Norman? Well, before we get ahead of ourselves, the whole how am I gonna get away with it if I can't kill you bit is answered. I'm not gonna kill you. You are gonna kill you. You know, the troubling guilt of killing someone over a stolen writing project just got the best of you, I guess. Case closed.
And if I don't?
Then Norman will do it for you and make it look believable. I was just giving you the choice. Die at your own hand or at the hand of a doorman. One of those sounds better, don't you think?
Why not just have Norman kill me as revenge? Wouldn't that work?
Don't critique my ways, bookworm.
That's cliche.
Give it about a minute before either one of you decides to pull the trigger. I'd like to make it to the fridge to get a drink before the final act commences. You know, it really has been a pleasure, Miss G. I appreciate your contributions to my cause.
To the night at 10:30. Everyone had an alibi, but only one person had one that didn't add up. Ben and Ciarda were at the table doing their little tarot reading, and Adam and Mitch were at the couch watching TV together. That leaves one person. The one person who showed genuine interest in my gun that night. The one person who put themselves at the scene of the crime. The one jealous of credit and supposedly being blackmailed by our victim. My friends, our murderer is none other than this Amanda Gutenberg.
It's Mitch.
Is he?
He's dead.
It is safe to say we definitely got the killer. We know the why she did it, and we know how, because she lied about her alibi and said she was in the bathroom, but clearly she wasn't. We know what she did. She tried to frame me with my gun, and it's unclear why she killed Mitch and Norman, but, I mean, Norman could have seen the murder. He's always over there. And Mitch, there's something about his business that, I don't know. As for everyone else, you have been proven innocent, so there's nothing else I need from you. You're dismissed.
What about you?
I think I'm gonna stay here. Miss G. Amanda has to still be in the house somewhere, and backup's on the way, so I think I want to remind her of one last dance. You know, me and her actually used to date back in the day, but it's such a long time ago. Almost feels like a burning memory. Thank you all so much for your cooperation on the case. I truly, really appreciate it.
Thank you for not firing the gun at me. Who would have guessed? Elliot's just the same as they've always been. Just the same as I wrote for the movie detective. I'm gonna go to jail. Because they got it wrong. Because they always do. I'll reveal the truth. I'll tell them that Mitch was the murderer. And that we were just victims in his little game. And that you stopped from shooting me and saved us both. But who should confess for Mitch's murder? Yeah, that's what I figured. We'll just decide in the moment, I guess.
I got a 30, 36.